Good evening, everybody. Steve and Mike here in the Mancave. Here to give a quick recap of the Vikings' 30-20 loss last Thursday night against the Los Angeles Rams. Would have liked to have done this a little sooner, but with the weekend upon us and everybody having things to do, we weren't able to do that. So we're here on a sports pack night, watching a little Timberwolves. We've got the Wild on as well as the World Series, which looks like it's probably going to end tonight, but
yeah.
Nonetheless, couldn't
happen to a nicer team.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of people watching this that are very disappointed that the Yankees are about to get swept. But Freddie Freeman continues to hit homers each game. So, but the Vikings, it was a rough game. I know the first thing everybody's going to want to talk about is the no call towards the end of the game, the safety against Darnold, where he was obviously face mask, and for some odd reason the referee was unable to see it, even though by all camera angles it was 3 feet in front of him. But at the end of the day, the Vikings would have had to go the length of the field with no timeouts, I believe, and convert a two-point conversion. And the way the offense was going in the second half, I don't know that they would have done that. And truth be told, I don't know if they would have left any time on the clock if our defense would have been able to hold the Rams.
Yeah, it was that play sucked. I mean, especially in a season where we had a 97-yard bomb to Jefferson, right? It's not. I mean, like Commanders and Bears this week, right? It's not over till it's over.
Yeah.
But the defense once again came up short. They got Puka and Cooper back on the same night, and they looked all of 100% back, and they burned us. They burned us good on the in cuts, the crossing routes. I mean, I know we don't have Cashman, but Ivan Pace Jr.'s got to be better with his drops, and he wasn't. We're the middle of the field. We're suddenly very suspect there, and then we're not getting any pressure. So I wouldn't mind seeing us get some interior defensive pressure help. Harrison Phillips is good, but we need another big guy that can really collapse the center of that pocket, because when we don't get there, our corners are not able to hold up. They're just not. So we gave up 386 yards again. Massive amount of yards. We won the turnover battle. We got that. Thank you very much, Matthew Stafford, and like he always does. But the Rams had 26 first down. They had 7 minutes more time of possession than we did. Our offense in the we looked good in the first half. The first quarter, 14-0. I thought, okay, yeah, we're going to do the same thing we always do, get out to a lead and just strangle them. And then we scored 6 points the rest of the way. And the red zone offense was just not there. We had 2 more trips to the red zone, and both times we came away with field goals. So I mean, it's that's the difference in the game. So it's disheartening. I mean, yeah, you can say the Rams came back. They had a lot of juice because they had their 2-star receivers come back. But 2 straight losses within 4 days is not a good look.
No, not at all. And interestingly enough, I know everybody was excited, at least Rams fans and probably NFL fans and fantasy football nerds, to get Cooper Kupp back. But I think everybody forgot, myself included, when I did my prop betting, that Nakua was going to be back, and he made his presence felt right away. I guess nobody informed the Vikings defense.
By the way,
yeah, I don't know that B-Flow got that memo, but yeah, the defense once again, the secondary especially. I mean, the safety plays, Smith and Bynum have had solid seasons, but that corner play seems to be our Achilles heel on defense.
Yeah.
I think maybe some of the Cashman coming back. I know Pace has had, I think he missed 1 game, and he's been a little dinged up. I believe if we can get them healthy, that might help. But unfortunately, I don't know that things get easier. I mean, Detroit looks like the real deal. I thought we played them well. I'm not going to say it was a moral victory, and I know Kevin O'Connell would not as well. But
yeah,
no moral victories. Didn't want to blame this last game either on the officiating, which a lot of people want to. At the end of the day, the Vikings have to execute. And unfortunately, that's going to be a little bit more difficult as we found out. the next day that Christian Darrisaw is out for the remainder of the year, ACL. So that's just going to make things more difficult. I did see tonight we did trade. I believe Jacksonville. We picked up a lineman. I didn't even see who it is or what he's capable
left tackle
of doing.
Robinson. He's a decent player. I mean, but he's you can't replace Darrisaw. That guy's dang near all world. So, but they signed another guy to the practice squad. They brought in they traded for this Robinson guy, and then you've got some movement with Brandel and some other we got the other offensive guard back, so we might be able to piece this together okay. But again, it's to me the big difference is the defense, and our defense really has to step up. And when we don't get pressure, I mean, Stephon Gilmore got exposed. I mean, he got torched, and then when we're getting killed on the back end like that. We gave up almost a 100-yard rusher. The guy had 97 yards for the Rams. It's just the big thing is we are not that good of a team to waste red zone possessions, and we have to be better on defense because if we're not getting pressure, then we're not getting home, and then our back end isn't holding up. So the problem with living by the turnover and you die by the turnover. Yeah, we got one, but we didn't really do anything with it.
Yeah.
We got 3 out of it, and we needed 7. So it's a little tense. I got to say, this is the first time this season. I mean, preseason expectations, I figured we'd be fighting for a wild card. I said I don't know if we'd win the division with questions about Sam Darnold and what we're going to be doing. And when McCarthy went down, I was like, okay. But the big thing is that. 2 is a trend, but 3 is a pattern. And 3, if we lose this to the Colts on Sunday night, then now it's DevCon's. It crank the warning symbols all the way up, and then like Denny Green said, they are who we thought they were. So I'm a little nervous about that. They've really got to come back and respond. I know it's 8 games in, but it feels almost like a must win to me. I don't know about you, but it feels almost like a must-win. We got to get this to get back into it. We went from first, and if it wasn't for that last-second Hail Mary by the Commanders, we would have dropped to 4th in the NFC North.
Yeah, that's just crazy to think of. And to that point, it's not going to get any easier with the Colts, and the Central keeps winning. I mean, the Bears, I'm not going to say it was a fluke. You play till the last play of the game, but they got fairly the Commanders got fairly lucky there. Otherwise, to your point, we would have been in last place even with a 5-2 record. So, I mean, the divisional games are just going to be huge. I mean, we're 1-1 so far, but with some coming up here, I mean, the Bears and the Packers even, and I seen Jordan Love got dinged up again, but I mean, the Packers are playing pretty good football, and it's going to be a dogfight till the end with Detroit looking very good. I mean, they look to me right now to be the best team in the NFC.
Yeah, no doubt. They're definitely the best team in the NFC right now. As much as it kills me to say that, and shout out to Brett out there in Detroit, out there in Michigan, my cousin's husband. He was giving me crap online this last week when we lost. He's like, I wonder when you guys are going to post that when we finally did the recap of the Detroit game. So shout out to him and his ilk. They've suffered for a lot of years in Detroit, but I think the big thing is that our defense has got to play better. We have to execute. And then the other thing is, why did we go away from Jefferson? Jefferson was scorching them, and I'm going to jump in real quick. He's my bad MFer of the game. 8 catches, 115 yards, almost 14 and a half an average. 27 yards was long, but only 9 targets.
Yeah.
Right. And most of those came in the first half, kind of the first, 15 plays, 18 plays. That's where most of his damage was done. And it's like, you've got the best wide receiver on the planet. Why are we not feeding it to him more? Right. And then Jordan Addison, where's he been? This guy, you can't find him with a searchlight right now. And so that's
free 3.
Yeah, free 3. Yeah. Jeez. Free 3.
Yeah. And I saw that turned into a big social media mess, but evidently it had nothing to do with him getting traded or anything of that nature. But nonetheless, I'd like to see him freed. One good thing about the Colts game, it looks like, and we've been teased for the last 2 weeks, it looks like Hawkinson will be back. So, I mean, that hopefully nothing's going to offset the loss of Darrisaw, but I mean, this might help make up for it a little bit if we can get TJ out there and get him cooking on Sunday night.
I think adding Hawkinson, and then I think they need to mix in Cam Akers more. Give Aaron Jones some rest. Don't make him carry the load so much. Have him be able to be effective as he is. But they really need to, I think, mix in Cam Akers and let him carry some of that load. So I think adding in Akers and Hawkinson coming back so we get some more of this underneath passing, the short, quick stuff, is going to make a difference for us. And then, if our defense is leaky, the best way to handle that, you got to have your offense has got to have better ball control and got to have better time of possession. So, we'll see what happens here. But it kind of feels like if we don't get this done, then we're looking pretty shaky because there's a lot of teams now with that 2-loss, 3-loss area in the NFC, and so it's going to be tight. Like you said, it's going to be a dogfight the whole way through.
Yeah, for me, my 3 takeaways, you just mentioned the rushing game. I didn't even realize this till I was just looking at the box score. The only 2 Vikings that even had rushing attempts were Darnold and Jones. Chandler and Akers did not spell Aaron. I mean, he only had 19 carries, but the run game was pedestrian. We only had 58 yards. I think Darisaw going out obviously affected that as well. Never got the rhythm that we have when we've been successful this year and winning ball games. Their running game. I mean, I believe Jones is generally in the 80 to 100 range when we win games. He had 19 for 58, so never really got that going. So the takeaway, running game, we have to definitely get that shored up before Sunday night's tilt against the Colts.
Yeah.
The secondary, we've said it again. I know, I believe against Detroit, Bynum had a rough game. There were a couple of bad angles, missed tackles, etc. But for the most part, I believe him and Smith have had a good season. But the cornerback play, continues to be an issue late in games. These teams, Stafford and Goff just went right down the field in the passing game against us.
It was way too easy. It was ridiculous. It was nuts.
We'll see if B-Flow and the defense, the coaches can get that taken care of for the next game. And then my last takeaway is health. Darisaw, we keep talking about it. This team's remained relatively healthy this year, minus Hawkinson coming to camp out. We knew that would be an issue with him getting hurt late last season. But they're going to need to remain relatively healthy. They lost one of, in my opinion, their top probably 4 or 5 players, if not top 3.
Yeah.
And his loss is definitely going to have an impact on how well they protect Darnold, how well our rushing game goes. So definitely they need to come out of Sunday's game healthy for the long run. And that's my 3 takeaways. Another big thing is that, to preview the Colts game.
Yeah.
Something that I found out today and was not horribly excited about is that Joe Flacco is going to start. I would prefer Anthony Richardson.
I would too. If we get penetration in the backfield, then great. Joe Flacco, God love him, but he's not mobile, right?
Yeah.
So. If we get penetration in the backfield, then we can get after him. But Joe Flacco's still got that arm. He knows football. He's been around it for as long as he has. He has won a Super Bowl, right? He's not a crap quarterback. Yeah. So, and as a Vikings fan, we know the curse of the backup quarterbacks.
Yeah, no doubt.
when it comes to our team. So, yeah, I think the Colts, another thing they have is a really good offensive line. Their offensive line is stout. They're one of the top, I think they're top 5 in the NFL in both rushing and pass protection. So it's really going to be, I think, the trenches. It's really going to be the trenches. Can our front 7 get pressure versus the monsters in Indianapolis there? Yeah,
and I know the record's 4-4. It's a bit deceiving. They've beaten the Bears. They've beaten some good teams. They've played well. They got Jonathan Taylor back. I believe he was out at least 2 or 3 weeks, and I didn't touch him on the props because he's been out, but he had a monster game on Sunday, so I'm a little nervous about him as well come this Sunday. But I love the fact that they've moved it to prime time, flexed it for Sunday night, so it should be rocking at the bank. Hopefully the weather's nice enough so they can open the doors. It makes for a nice atmosphere.
Yeah.
So that should be. It should be a good thing. So we'll look forward to Sunday night. And as far as we go, I know tomorrow night we plan to do a Wolves Weekly, our first Wolves Weekly. There'll be 4 games in the season they're playing right now in front of us. 2-1, hopefully to be 3-1 after tonight. So we'll definitely come back tomorrow night and do that. So any closing thoughts on the Vikings or?
Yeah, well, Vikings crunch time, the defense has got to step up. Our offense is going to have nights where it's good. It's going to have nights where it's bad. It's really got to be the defense has got to step up. And if the defense doesn't step up, then we're in for a long season. I mean, if it's true that people have figured out Buffalo's defense, then we're in for a long season.
No doubt. So we'll see how Sunday goes. We'll be back next week for a recap of that game. Appreciate you tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment on our content. Hopefully you'll watch our Wolves segment tomorrow, and we'll definitely be coming up with some more stuff here in the near future. So appreciate you watching, and we'll see you later.